Gather around, come take a seat, and let me reveal this Halloween treat. You see now it's safe with the young ones asleep. I can tell you this tale, just be sure not to scream. Thus long ago, in a graveyard nearby, awoke little Skelly on Halloween night. He climbed up from the dirt and brushed himself off. He must have felt chilly, 'cause he threw on a cloth. He strolled through the graveyard with a cool, undead gait, while kicking the acorns he saw along the way. And he was content for a moment or so, until the vast loneliness gripped at his soul. Abruptly, a concept came to his skull. I'll start an ensemble, he said to himself. I'll collect many creatures, a club I'll construe, and it will be called the Spook Skelly Crew. With excitement he leapt through the tall iron gate, embarking a journey to find his first mate. Who could it be? I'm ready to meet him, he shrieked as he entered the dark mausoleum. Then Skelly paused at the doorway, his sense of fear came alive. Something terribly wicked he felt was inside. You, he echoed through the dim musty webs, tiptoeing past the rats and the fresh spider eggs. Then he felt a cold tap on his scapula. Then he turned to reveal Count Dracula. Drac, shouted Skelly, it's been a long while. It's Halloween night, let's go out in style. I'm starting a club, so far it's us two. Won't you please join the Spook Skelly Crew?
Begone, pile of bones. I am too elegant. Do you think I would be caught dead with a skeleton? To royalty you speak, the king of all vampires. Disappear, little Skelly. Go off and expire.
An anger inside our Skelly arose, an anger so fierce it rattled his bones. I'm sorry, dear Drac, that our time must now part, for I know your weakness, a stake through the heart. With a hop and a skip, Skelly went on his way. I won't let this dilemma ruin my day. And as the cool air whirled between his bones, he scampered along the row of gravestones. Skelly stumbled upon catacombs with inscriptions, and pondered and wondered if they could be Egyptian. Beyond any doubt, with utmost confidence, he slid the top off of the sarcophagus. The mummy sat upright with a purposeful stare. Then he coughed clouds of dust that lingered midair. Boy, quit your coughing. Get it? Quit your coughing? Enough with the jokes. I don't see you that often. It's Halloween night. You know what to do. You must join my club, the Spook Skelly Crew.
Begone, pile of bones. You woke me for this. I've been dreaming of Pharaoh's daughter to kiss. For 5,000 years I've been asleep in my tomb, and for 5,000 more my sleep shall resume.
Skelly started to tremble, and he started to shake. Mummy casually muttered,
Psh, give me a break.
A break? Oh no, Mummy, I know you're too fragile. But what I will give you is the big unravel. Yet again through the graveyard, Skelly continued, Sorry, old Mummy, I will give you a tribute. My Spook Skelly Crew will honor your death with a big celebration, spoken under his breath. Along the grave path, behind some trees, Skelly could hear some rustling leaves. Any spooky boys in there? Come out if you can. And out from the shadows leapt the Wolfman. Wolfie, I've been so preoccupied with good news that I've been oblivious to the full moon. And now in this graveyard, as I'm standing with you, I'm asking, will you join my Spook Skelly Crew? Well, the werewolf, he snarled, and he barked out, No way! I'm in search of some meat. I'm hunting for prey. Be gone, pile of bones. Skeletons are taboo. Turn around, little Skelly, and go back to your tomb. The fire ignited from Skelly's within, once again betrayed by a creature with skin. You dog, Skelly screamed. I knew that you wouldn't. Now embrace your downfall with a lone silver bullet. As the insects made noises of some requiem, somber Skelly continued to search for some fun, and he creaked through the wooden door of a crypt to see if his dreams of a crew would exist. And over the caskets came lurking a beast. Deep inside, Skelly found that his hope had increased. Face to face with pure horror, certainly not an imposter. Skelly found himself across from Frankenstein's monster. "Frankie! Old buddy! Old colleague! Old friend! How's the wife doing? How long has it been? Enough with the small talk. Let's get down to the coup. Would you please join my Spook Skelly crew?" Frankenstein's monster stood tranced and hypnotic, with a deep, lifeless stare into Skelly's eye sockets. As the deafening silence continued to grow, Frankenstein opened his mouth and simply said,
No.
Skelly screamed out, "You're all the same, and I'm just a skeleton pawn in your game. I'm sorry, Frankie. It's time you retire." Skelly threw in a torch and the crypt flooded with fire. Skelly's grin faded, his posture slouched. It was at that moment he was consumed by doubt. And he looked up and realized he had finished the path. It had looped back to where he first began. And he was alone. Maybe I'll go and peek in on Drac. I left him disheveled and crude in this shack. I'll button his collar and straighten his cape, and I'll leave the poor vampire in respectable shape.
Skelly! An awful mistake I have made,
said Skeleton Dracula back from the grave.
Is your club still accepting? Can you let me in? It seems we are all skeletons within.
There's no bad blood between us, pardon the pun. It's Halloween night, let's go have some fun. Let's see if this club could increase beyond 2 and find some more friends for the Spook Skelly crew. And Skelly told Drac of much skeleton lore, like the shortage of calcium in the skeleton war. And they talked and they walked as they laughed down the path, and they stopped where the mummy felt skeleton wrath.
Skelly, is that you this Halloween night?
Said Skeleton Mummy, lit up by moonlight.
Had I known, I too was a Skelly inside, I'd not have turned you away with Egyptian pride.
I forgive you, old monster. You outlived the Sphinx. I know you just wanted 40 more winks. Now before the black sky fades into blue, let's see if we can add to the Spook Skelly crew. Now Mummy and Drac and Skelly were 3, and were conversing of tales from the skeleton army, and the legend of how Captain Duke came to be, when they heard some commotion behind the trees. And out jumped the sorrowful skeleton werewolf. I apologize, dear Skelly, only thinking of myself. As for the old hunger of meat I once craved, I now hunger for calcium since I returned from the grave. Skeleton Wolfie, you beautiful mongrel, all is forgiven, let's forget this debacle. Now we are 4, but there's one more who may want to join the Spook Skelly crew. Skelly told the new group as they followed the trail how to strengthen their bones and avoid growing frail. And he reminded them on the levels of spooky, and if you become a master, you will become spoopy. Then they found themselves at the burned down remains, where the crypt used to stand between the graves. Skeleton Frankenstein stood up from under some charring, and from his skeleton mouth thundered the word, sorry. Skeleton Frankenstein, it's got a nice ring. Well, look at this club, I think it's complete. This Halloween night, I'd like to debut the genesis of the Spook Skelly crew. Friends, this was only their maiden campaign, but the rest is for some other time, I'm afraid. And all the adventures and mishaps they've seen, and by now how many skeletons the group has increased. And thus was born the greatest group of all time. To this day they return every Halloween night, and every year is a new adventure to be had for the Spook Skelly crew and their skeleton friends. So if you ever feel lonely on All Hallows Eve, there's a group you can turn to for some company. They'll accept anybody, for under our skin, we are all the same. Skeletons within.